That's our ring. April 26th, 1931. Two young men from Mena, Arkansas, Chester Locke, known as Chet, and Norris Goff, nicknamed Tuffy, traveled to Hot Springs radio station KTHS and ad-libbed their way to national fame as Lum and Abner.
Abner, what in the name of common sense are you up to now?
Now, wait a minute, Lum.
An audition in Chicago for NBC led to quarter-century careers as national radio entertainers. Locke and Goff created a small, mythical town called Pine Ridge, where the two old fellows from the hill country ran their jot-em-down store. They populated their radio town with warm, humorous characters. Vocally talented, the duo created the voices for all the characters.
Abner, watch out what you're moving there. Can't move 2 spaces that way.
I never moved 2 spaces.
You did, done it, I see.
By George, I'm going to have the law on somebody for this. It's an outrage.
Well, you
All I
can't put the
moved
law
was
on
just
me,
one
Squire,
space,
'cause I never had
Grandpap.
nothing to
You're
do with
just
this
mad 'cause
idea.
you're losing.
There were millions of listeners to radio during the Great Depression and World War II. Lum and Abner popularity later inspired the creators of the television show, The Andy Griffith Show. On the 5th anniversary of the Lum and Abner broadcast, Waters, Arkansas officially changed its name to Pine Ridge. The Lum and Abner Museum is located there today, and the annual Lum and Abner Festival in nearby Mena draws thousands who enjoy the wonderful festivities. An historic note, in 1937, Lum and Abner became the first comedy duo to broadcast a program from 2 separate continents. Lum was in England, Abner was in Chicago, and their listeners heard them speaking together live.
Hello, Abner.
Yeah. Who is this?
This is Lum.
I thought you were still in England.
I am.
Lum and Abner starred in a series of 7 theatrical motion pictures, beginning with Dreaming Out Loud in 1940. Since the men were considerably younger than the characters they played on radio, they required hours in the makeup chair to age them. Lum and Abner concluded their 24-year radio run in 1954. Their final film was released in 1956. After the shows and films ended, Locke became a public relations officer for Conoco Oil, appearing as Lum and also himself in television commercials. Goff made a few appearances himself on TV, one as the grandfather of Gomer Pyle, another, appropriately, as a grocer on The Andy Griffith Show. Around that time, Texan Donnie Pitchford, transplanted to Memphis with his family, decided he wanted to be a cartoonist at age 5 and began drawing his own characters. He enjoyed the Sunday newspaper comics and animation, particularly the characters Popeye, Dick Tracy, and Snuffy Smith. And his father told him of an old radio show called Lum and Abner. After moving back to Texas, Pitchford began an association by mail with Popeye comic book cartoonist George Wildman, a friendship that spanned 45 years. At Spring Hill High School, media director Raymond Keyes offered student Pitchford a spot on the television crew at Longview First United Methodist Church. Later, majoring in commercial art at Kilgore College and then art education at Stephen F. Austin State University, Pitchford prepared himself for his chosen career. Thanks to an SFA professor, Dr. Joe Oliver, Pitchford finally heard Lum and Abner rebroadcasts on campus radio station KSAU. The National Lum and Abner Society was born in 1984, presided over by Donnie Pitchford, Sam Brown, and Tim Hollis. Pitchford entered the education profession in 1983, teaching art at Hawkins High School. In 1985, Pitchford moved to Carthage, Texas, to take over the reins of CHS-TV at Carthage High School. Students there learned a broad scope of media history and production skills, For 20 consecutive years, CHS-TV students earned state honors in media production. Many of those were state championships. Several graduates now work in the media industries around the nation and abroad. In 2009, Hy Eisman, educator, cartoonist, and mentor, declared to Pitchford, "You are a cartoonist." After his retirement from education in 2010, Pitchford secured commissions for paintings, including one of his mentor, George Wildman, for Charlton Spotlight magazine. In 2011, Pitchford began producing the weekly Lum and Abner comic strip for newspapers and internet publication. A new generation of Lum and Abner fans are able to read and hear his adventures of the old fellows from Pine Ridge, Arkansas. Thanks to requests from blind friends, Pitchford produces a weekly audio adaptation of each comic strip. Old and new friends contribute voices through the miracle of digital audio and internet distribution. Sometimes former CHS-TV students are heard, one of them being Panola College faculty member Darren McDaniel. Sound effects and the music of composer Mark Ridgway round out the productions, which are always available online. Pitchford has contributed to various books, magazines, and comic strips, and in recent years worked with his longtime mentor, the award-winning George Wildman, in scripting, hand-lettering, inking, and digitally coloring 3 stories illustrated by the artist. As a member of the Texas Cartoonists and the National Cartoonist Societies, Pitchford has performed chalk talks for students and those in children's hospitals. Most recently, Pitchford has worked as an assistant to renowned sculptor Bob Harness. The team completed 2 larger-than-life groupings for the Red River Valley Veterans Memorial in Paris, Texas, and a soon-to-be unveiled statue of Judge Roy Hoffines at the University of Houston. In January 2019, a 15-day minute mystery story in the comic strip Dick Tracy was scripted by Pitchford. Recent honors for Pitchford include a feature article in Sawdust, the alumni magazine of Stephen F. Austin State University, receiving the Distinguished Alumnus Award from Spring Hill High School, becoming a cartoonist character himself named Peter Pitchblende in Dick Tracy Comics by Mike Curtis and Joe Staten. Other honors, an interview on the statewide syndicated radio program, The Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith, and of course, this exhibit at Panola College. Donnie Pitchford and his wife Laura, also a retired educator, reside in Carthage, where First United Methodist Church is their church home. Pitchford says, "I am truly blessed." We hope you enjoy this exhibit. We hope you learn some things and have some chuckles along the way. As Cedric Wehunt of Lum and Abner often says,
"Wonderful world, wonderful world. Ah, yes, wonderful world.
Wonderful world.
Wonderful world.